A single song catapulted them to fame, but sadly, that very same song condemned them to obscurity. In the 1980s, they burst onto the radio with force and left their mark on an entire generation. What they did not know was that it would be their only major hit. Today, we are going to explore the 10 most famous one-hit wonders of the 1980s. Let's begin. Number 10. Tainted Love, Soft Cell. In 1981, two art students from Leeds Polytechnic took a forgotten soul song from the 1960s and turned it into something dark and desperate. Tainted Love by Soft Cell. Mark Almond and Dave Ball bonded in the art department over electronic music and darker corners of pop culture. They found Tainted Love on a Northern Soul compilation and stripped it down. A cheap synth, a drum machine, and Almond's voice sounding like a man singing from the bottom of a well. Released in 1981, it shot to number 1 in the UK. In America, it reached number 8 and spent 43 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. But Soft Cell were never comfortable with success. They followed it with strange choices, covering songs about addiction and sex workers, confusing the mainstream audience. By 1984, pressure broke them apart. Tainted Love is not just a cover. It is love turning poisonous and still pulling you back. Number 9. Come On Eileen, Dexys Midnight Runners. A band from Birmingham released a song that sounded like a drunken Irish wedding crashing into a skiffle band. Kevin Rowland, son of Irish immigrants, had formed the band in 1978 and already had one hit with Gino. But Come On Eileen was different. The song came from the guilt Rowland felt growing up in Britain, where desire could feel dirty and wrong. Eileen was not one girl. She was a memory of every Catholic girl he wanted, and every feeling he had been told to hide. Released in 1982, it shot to number 1 in the US and UK and became Britain's best-selling single of that year. But after it exploded, Rowland changed everything for Don't Stand Me Down. New suits, new sound. The album disappointed. Mercury dropped them, and Dexys never came close again. Come On Eileen is not just a hit. Childhood guilt turning into a street party anthem. Number 8. 99 Luftballons, Nena. In 1983, while the world feared nuclear war, a 23-year-old German singer released a song about balloons that accidentally started an apocalypse. Guitarist Carlo Carges got the idea after seeing balloons released at a Rolling Stones concert in West Berlin. He wondered what would happen if they drifted over the wall and were mistaken for enemy aircraft. The lyrics turn 99 balloons into UFOs, fighter jets, panic, and a 99-year war that leaves the world in ruins. Released in 1983, it became a huge anti-war anthem, topping charts across Europe and reaching number 2 in the United States. But the English version, 99 Red Balloons, softened the message. Nena later said the German lyrics were sharper and more specific. The band broke up in 1987, and Nena never repeated that global hit. 99 Luftballons warns that fear can destroy the world faster than any one weapon. Number 7. I Ran So Far Away, A Flock of Seagulls. In 1982, a hairdresser from Liverpool formed a band with his brother and friends who had barely played before. I Ran by A Flock of Seagulls. Mike Score had been pushed out as a bassist, so he bought his first synthesizer, a Korg MS-10. His brother Ali wanted to play drums, though he had never played before. Their friend Frank took bass. Within 3 hours, the band had a song. The strange hair became almost as famous as the music. Mike was trying to create a futuristic look, but a hairdryer accident left him with that sweeping style, and MTV never forgot it. Released in 1982, I Ran reached number 9 in America, helped by a low-budget video that looked icy, alien, and built for MTV. But Mike never thought it was their best song. The band had another US hit with Wishing, then drifted apart. I Ran is the sound of amateurs becoming stars by accident, then wondering how they did it. Number 6. Maniac, Michael Sembello. A song about a serial killer accidentally became the anthem of a dance movie. The song began as a dark joke after songwriter Dennis Mitkowski saw a report about a serial killer. He joked that with his luck, the guy probably lived next door, and wrote lyrics about a maniac who would kill your cat and nail it to the floor. Michael Sembello loved the title. He told Mitkowski to hit the weirdest chord he knew, and they built it like a joke for friends. Then the demo reached Paramount, where they were looking for songs for Flashdance. Director Adrian Lyne heard the siren feel and wanted it for a dance scene. The lyrics were rewritten around obsession, training, and ambition. Released in 1983, Maniac hit number 1 on Billboard and helped make Flashdance a giant film. Sembello never repeated that success. Maniac is a dark joke that became a bright 80s anthem. Number 5. Voyage, Voyage, Desireless. In 1986, a 35-year-old French woman who had studied philosophies in India released a song that conquered Europe without a single word of English. Voyage, Voyage by Desireless. Her real name was Claudie Fritsch, but she chose the stage name Desireless, inspired by the philosophy she had studied. The song was written by Jean-Michel Rivat and Dominique Dubois and sung entirely in French, a language the pop machine did not expect to travel that far. But Voyage, Voyage defied everything. It shot to number 1 in several European countries and became a massive hit across the continent. Desireless was not a typical pop star. She was almost 35, had an androgynous look, and refused to play the industry's game of seduction. Her follow-ups never matched it. By the time her debut album arrived in 1989, the moment had passed. Voyage, Voyage is not just a hit, it is infinite travel in song form. Number 4. Pass the Dutchie, Musical Youth. A group of kids from Birmingham, England recorded a song about passing a cooking pot and created a global reggae phenomenon. Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth. The song was adapted from Pass the Coochie by the Mighty Diamonds, which was about passing a cannabis pipe. But Musical Youth were children, so the word became Dutchie, a Jamaican cooking pot, and drug references became lines about food and hunger. The group included Dennis Seaton, Kelvin and Michael Grant, and brothers Junior and Patrick Waite. The youngest were school kids. Released in 1982, Pass the Dutchie went to number 1 in the UK and reached number 10 in America, becoming their only US hit. But childhood fame did not last. The band broke up in 1985, and Patrick Waite died in 1993 at 24 from a hereditary heart condition. Pass the Dutchie is not just a hit. It is childhood innocence turned into a global anthem. Number 3. Tarzan Boy, Baltimora. In 1985, a dancer from Derry, Northern Ireland, became the face of a song he may not have sung. Jimmy McShane had trained as a nurse, worked as a dancer, and moved to Milan in 1983. There he met producer Maurizio Bassi, and Baltimora became less a band than an Italian pop project built around one unforgettable image. Tarzan Boy was released in 1985 and became a global hit, reaching number 3 in the UK and number 13 in America. The video showed McShane in leopard print, turning him into the face of the song. But the story is messy. Some sources say Bassi performed the lead vocal while McShane lip-synced in front of the act. What is certain is that Baltimora never repeated the magic. The project ended in the late 80s. McShane returned to Derry and died in 1995 from an AIDS-related illness. He was 37. Number 2. The Promise, When in Rome. Three musicians from Manchester released a song that sounded like a wedding vow set to a synthesizer. The band was formed by singers Clive Farrington and Andrew Mann, with keyboardist Michael Floreal. They named themselves after the proverb, thinking about the gap between Manchester and London. The Promise first appeared as a dance single. The 7-inch went nowhere, but the club mix caught fire. A remixed version came out in 1988 and reached number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also topped the dance club play chart. But the follow-up, Heaven Knows, stalled at number 95, and the other singles disappeared. By the early 90s, the band fell apart. Years later, Napoleon Dynamite gave the song another life, but the name When in Rome became a legal fight. The Promise is not just a hit, it is a song about forever, made by people who could not keep it. Number 1. Take on Me, a-ha. In 1985, a band from Norway released a song that had already failed twice, Take on Me by a-ha. The main riff had been written years earlier by Magne Furuholmen when he was still a teenager. Before a-ha, an early version existed in another form, but the idea kept changing and almost vanished. When Morten Harket joined, they tried again. Tony Mansfield made it sound too cold, and the single flopped. Then Alan Tarney reshaped it with bright synths and that steel drum-like hook. But the song still needed a miracle. A video made with rotoscope animation, tracing live action frame by frame. Bunty Bailey played the girl, and Morton jumping between flesh and drawing became unforgettable. Take on Me hit number 1 in America and spent 27 weeks on Billboard Hot 100. But in the US, a-ha never escaped its shadow. Take on Me proves the third try can work. Sometimes that magic owns you forever. And now tell me, how old were you? And what were you doing when you discovered these musical gems? Tell me in the comments, we'll read them. Leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.